If only for just a moment, allow yourself to imagine it all working out. Allow yourself to imagine that everything happens for the best. Everything happens for a reason. And looking back, you can tell. You can tell that what happened today happened for a reason, and you can see the reason in the whole scheme of the story. What do you think that would do to you? I think you would wish you took more time to enjoy yourself, along the journey. Allowed yourself to enjoy that walk that you went on without worrying and worrying about the future and the uncertainty of life, worrying about if it's going to work out. But then also remind yourself that you wouldn't want to know. You wouldn't want to know it all worked out. Let's say, hypothetically, you had a dream. And in that dream, somehow, some way, you knew it was like a prophecy. You knew it was going to come to fruition. And in that dream, you saw that it all worked out. You saw, each person is different, but imagine for you whatever it means to all work out. And you see that. And you wake up and, initially you're excited, but then you start going about your day and you realize everything loses its fun. What it means to be a human and be alive is gone. You know, you can't die because you saw the future. You saw that you're not going to die. So the risk of dying is gone. Every risk you do take to advance yourself to your ideal future doesn't really matter because maybe this one won't work out, but it will work out. So what does it matter if it's this one or the next one or the one after that? Risk would lose its meaning. You would lose the meaning of what it means to really be alive. And I think this is very valuable to remember that even if we could know, we wouldn't want to know because it would ruin the journey. That's the best part of the journey, is that we don't know. That there's so much uncertainty and there's so many possibilities and anything could happen. That's the best part. And you need to allow yourself to remind yourself that that's the best part. Because, it can be daunting in the moment and it can be scary, but that's not any way to go about life. It's not any way to live. So just allow yourself, if even for just a moment, to imagine it all working out. So you can allow yourself to enjoy the journey. You know, smell the roses on a walk. Just smile and be kind to people without being so caught up in your own world of it potentially not working out. And I think we also need to allow ourselves to just focus on what's in front of us. I personally have tried to foresee as much as possible before taking a step. And I think I need to start taking a step and then readjust my foot to get a firm foothold. I might step on a rock and my foot's kind of sideways, but then, I can readjust before, I pick my other foot up. Instead of sitting there contemplating the best angle to go at this next step, when you take the step and then, a piece of the rock breaks off, so you have to readjust your foot anyways. There's so much time wasted in just not taking the next step, and that's action. Just trust yourself. Trust that the next thing you do is happening for a reason, and it's for the best reason. And you might not realize how this is going to work out in the grand scheme of things, And even a couple years from now, it might seem like a waste of time. But the knowledge you gain and the things you obtain in that experience may be beneficial to you down the road. And there's a reason that your conscience is telling you to go and do that. And I believe we need to listen to our conscience. I think our conscience is a guide. Like it's like a compass. And I like the term of calling it a compass a lot better than a guide or a map, because it's like I'm saying, you can't see the future. And that's the same thing with the compass. It tells you to go this way, but you can't see what's 100 miles ahead of you. But on a map, you can see the whole journey laid out. Obviously you can't see the individual experiences, but you can see the end destination. But a compass isn't like that, and that's what our conscience is. It's a compass to show you which direction to go, what next action you should take. And then a lot of times it doesn't make sense. It doesn't stand up to rational foresight. But if you just trust it and go with it, it'll all make sense in the end, and it'll be better than you could have imagined. If you can just trust the conscience and listen to it and go with it, go with the flow. Follow the flow of life instead of fighting against it. Because if you fight against the flow, you're still going to go with the flow, but instead you're going to be getting bashed against all of these objects because you're fighting it. But if you just bob and weave with it, you can avoid so much pain and suffering and discomfort if you just don't fight it and you just go with it. And the pain and discomfort can be in many things, but I think what it is in the most is in your head. Not doing what you believe you should do because of, a fear, or because rationality talked you out of it, because people talked you out of it. People that don't know you in your dreams talked you out of potentially doing something that is best for you. And you can't put it into words why you know. And you can't give them a good rational explanation on why you must do this. But you just know deep down you must. And if you allow people to talk you out of that, then your conscience is going to be berating you your whole life. And then you'll be on your deathbed saying, what if? What if I trusted myself? What if I just listened to my conscience? I wonder what would have been different. I wonder how life would have played out for me. And maybe you're on your deathbed contemplating that, and you didn't have a horrible life by any means, but you just feel like it should have been better. It should have been more. There's things you never did that you felt like you should have done. And you just have an itching feeling that if you listened to your conscience, it would have all worked out. So I think it's valuable to allow ourselves these moments to imagine it all working out, and allowing ourselves to realize that we also wouldn't want to know if it all worked out, if we had the opportunity to know. And obviously we'll never have the opportunity to know, but I think that's a good reminder. It's a good reminder to know that even if we had the opportunity, we're stressing so much because it's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. But then, someone comes up to you and gives you the opportunity, hypothetically. You'd say, if you said yes, you'd be crazy. Because either you see it all works out and you have a huge sigh of relief and then life loses its fun, or you see it doesn't work out and then you're even more depressed and you're even more sad. Might as well live life like it's all going to work out. And then in the end, see. Because even then, it depends what your goals are. If you're an intellectual pursuit and your goal is to be remembered, let's say, there's many authors, philosophers, artists, musicians who in their lifetime never got credit. In their lifetime, they died a failure. and then their work got published after they died, or the work that was already published got brought to light, and now they're famous and we talk about them. But they died believing they were failures. Even someone like Nietzsche wasn't that popular when he died. I don't believe. Um, Sorry if I'm mistaken, but and like Frank Kamezov, I don't. That's not his name, but he's an author. But there's another guy who died and no one even knew about him, but now he's revered as one of the greatest authors ever. So you also got to realize what your goals are, and if it's something like posthumous fame, which I think is it's a bad goal, but if that is your goal, then you may never see it. Even if you die, you still might become famous one day. So you just have to trust in your conscience. Trust that it's all happening for the best. Everything's happening for a reason, and that reason is for the best. And there's no other way you should go about life. Because the alternative is, thinking everything happens for the worst and nothing happens for a reason. What's the fun in that? Where's the joy and happiness in that? It's not. So don't allow yourself to be consumed by thoughts of that nature. Be consumed by thoughts that one day you'll look back and these will be the good old days. Even though right now it's hard, you have moments of depression and sadness, and you can't see how it's all going to work out. And you see people younger than you who are better off than you, in your opinion. But that's why social media is so disgusting, because it just breeds envy. You see people younger or the same age as you, and they look like they're living the dream life, but they have problems just like you, and you don't see it. They make one video about a year, and you watch it in 15 minutes, and then you think you think you've been wasting your life. But all you see is 15 minutes out of a year. 15 minutes of a highlight reel out of a year. And you imagine every minute of that year was like that. And it breeds envy. It breeds envy. And that's why social media is, it's not the best if used incorrectly. And it's used incorrectly mostly nowadays. So I urge you to just allow yourself to imagine it all working out.